Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Nitty Gritty Podcast. Today is Saturday, July 4th, 2015. I am your host, Jay. Yay! Happy 4th! If you are new, thank you so much for checking me out. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back and seeing all my craziness. Let's get to the knitting, shall we? Alright, first off, there are no FOs. None. Finito. Did not finish anything. Sorry, guys. I did promise you, though, that I would show you P's socks. They are in the other room. Too bad. It's on my Instagram feed, so, and on my Ravelry project page. So if you really want to see it, it's over there. I know, bad podcaster. Okay. So what have I been knitting so far? Well, first off is my Much Ado About Nothing socks. I believe, if I could stop getting this always tangled in the yarn. La-di-da. It's always, this particular project has been getting so tangled every time I take it out of the bag. I don't know why. It just seems to always get tangled either in my in my counter, my beginning of the row marker, or just in the hoops. I don't know why. So, okay. Last time you saw it, I was about here. As you can see, I've motored through, and I'm now to the start of the heel. So I'm starting on the decreasing wedge of the fish lips kiss heel. So if you remember, I was around here, and I'm now all the way up here. I have been knitting on this pretty religiously. Well, no. Incorrect. I've been knitting on this mostly when traveling or if I'm out and about. It's my project that I take everywhere. And I knit on this a little bit at the new Stitch and Bitch that I go to on Mondays. And then I took this with me to the free opera in the park. And this was my knitting while I watched Marriage of Figaro. But then it got dark and I couldn't see. So I would have motored through the decreasing part of the heel, the starting of the short rows, but I did not. So here you go. These are US 1s on Chaigu needles, the lace one, that's why it's red cord. I believe US 1s is 2.25 millimeters. The yarn is Cannon Hand Dyes in her, oh my goodness gracious, everything drops. And they're in her Lewis Carroll self-striping colorway. Not colorway, base. Colorway is the quote, Much Ado About Nothing quote, which is, there will be much reveling tonight. Which is why it looks like a disco. Black and disco. Whee! I've been getting a lot of comments on this in the wild. Usually if I'm knitting like basic self-striping socks with basic, very not, the blue, you know what I'm talking about. I get, oh, that's cute, what are you making? But I've been getting a lot of, oh, that is cool, because of the, how it stripes. Well, I just say, you know what, it's not me. It's the dyer, so. And my hair is being stupid today. Ugh, stay. I got my bangs cut too short, so I'm trying to grow it out at least. So that's one, and it's living in my Erin Lane Doctor Who bag, part of the Doctor Who bag club that I'm part of. So that's that. Putting it down here because I'm running out of space. The second one is my featherweight cardigan. So, oh, you know what? I didn't show you the tag on that. Sorry, guys. I had the tag. So Canon hand eyes. And here's the back, the self-striping Lewis MCN, Lewis MCN twist, which is 80% merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon, 395 yards. And the quote is, I know we shall have reveling tonight. Much ado about nothing. I do need more coffee. So it's morning time. And if you could probably hear the bird outside, not Ami, my parakeet, but the birds outside, I have to have the window open because it's Livermore and it's already hot. And you can't see it, but there's a fan going on and it's hot. And also the pea made bacon, so there's bacon fog everywhere. You know what I'm talking about. And he didn't put it on the vent. So there's bacon fog everywhere. It was delicious, but bacon fog everywhere. Okay. Back to the second. I don't know. Hold on. I usually don't record when P is home, but he's home all the time now because he's off school. And he opened up the windows and I can hear it because anyway. Anyway. Featherweight cardigan, shall we? I'm in the middle of the row. Sorry. But, I was about here. Just about here. And I motored up to here. I've been knitting a lot of this while watching Orange is the New Black. And I'm still on the yoke increases. So, and shaping of the sleeves. So there's not much going on in the pattern really. It's just increasing and, you know, alternating rows. So we can kind of see the shaping of the armhole. It's right here. So I'm enjoying it. I've done this pattern before, so I remember how long it takes to get through this part. And then of course the body is going to be just as much. So, but I believe without the increases, I think it's straight. But that's all I'm going to tell you. I am going to, it is a shorter cardigan, so I believe I have enough yardage to make it longer because I like a longer cardigan. So that is what I'm going to do. These are done on US 5s, which unfortunately I don't know the millimeters on, so I apologize. And you're just gonna keep seeing this. It's a very nice colorway. Let me grab the tag for you. It's Madeline Tosh lace in the steamer trunk colorway. 950 yards. That's actually pretty clear. Huh. Lace weight, 100% superwash merino wool. Steamer trunk. I bought this a few years ago at my local yarn store. So that will be fun. That I I'm not expecting any deadline. So you see why I don't have that many FOs, other than the sock, which I could totally, probably, most likely get through. Sweaters, on the other hand, take me a while because, you know, I want to make sure they're just right. So that's the featherweight cardigan. That is a pattern by Hannah Fettig. It's one of her most common ones, and you can buy it off Ravelry. It's a paid pattern on Ravelry. The sock is my basic vanilla. Sorry, I should really put that in there. Oh, and the featherweight is living in my other Erin Lane Doctor Who bag that I got through the club. So, the next project, yes, I have another project. Yes, I do. It is the Liesel, which I told you about. See, I can follow through with my pipelines. So, coffee. I love coffee. All right. It is living in my Slip Stitch Studios Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. You can see the splatter. And the zombie. Oh, I got this a few years ago, many years ago at Stitches. Let me grab it out. Actually, let me grab. I should have been more prepared. I'm not used to podcasting in the morning. Usually it's like whenever I wake up and take a shower, but I realized that the better way to get me to really focus on podcasting is to just get up in the morning, immediately take a shower, eat breakfast, and just start the podcast early in the morning. So that is what I'm doing. I'm not used to it though, so excuse my clunkiness. So this is what I have so far. It is a top-down cardigan, and it has many different ones. I'm going to be doing the 3/4 sleeve one because, you know, that's who no, backtrack. I think, more coffee. I think I'm trying to decide if I have enough yarn. So I may do the 3/4 sleeves if I have enough yarn. If I do not have enough yarn, it's going to be the cap sleeves. It depends on how much I get through the body. So right now I think we're on track. I'm still at the yoke part. I think I have a few more repeats to do. And this is a very addictive. So I know I said that I was doing the featherweight with Orange is the New Black, but I actually started the series casting on this, and it's been addicting. So addicting. It has been too warm. Too warm to knit this because it is a worsted weight while the other one is a lace weight. So it's been in the hundreds. I don't do well with heat. I'm a winter girl. I like it cold. Cold, I tell you, cold! Hundreds are not good for me. I melt. So this is what I have so far. It is done with US 10s, signature needles. And I love signature needles only because their join here is perfect. It's wonderful. And it's just easy to knit with this nice squishy yarn. The squishy yarn is Malabrigo worsted. If I could put it up right. In the pink frost colorway. And I have about 6 skeins of these. And the pattern is Liesel by Isolde Teague. It is another paid pattern. and it's wonderful. You can do cap sleeves, you can do 3/4 sleeves, you can do whatever type of collar you want. Some people, I forgot to do the buttonholes. But you can put buttonholes in there. I completely forgot to put it, so I'm just gonna leave it open for now. You can choose a lower. It's a great pattern, so I definitely suggest you buy it. And yeah, that is all that I'm knitting right now. I really, 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 did I say really? Really. I really would like to knit there. So there is a KAL going on. I don't know if it's an Instagram Cal or if it's a podcaster Cal. I just started seeing it in Instagram when not this yesterday, but the Friday before, when the Supreme Court ruled about same-sex marriage. It was the Love Wins Cal, and I really wanted to start that because reasons. But I have too much stuff on my needles, and I know when I have too much stuff on my needles when I start planning when I knit them. And if I can't fit in another thing on my list, I'm going to get overwhelmed, and one project is going to go to the wayside. So that's why I'm like, you know what, even though I have a couple of rainbow stuff that I could do, I have a lot of rainbow stuff that I can do. You know how some people have favorite colors and it's like one color? I have, my favorite color is rainbow. I think Silly Fruit has the same thing. She loves rainbows too. I love rainbows. It has a personal meaning to me, and because it's pretty. So it's my favorite colorway. It really is. Give me a rainbow something and I'll love it forever. Speaking of color, what's on my nails? Nice segue, right? Not really. Alright, so I have on, it's my July 4th. Why am I showing you the bad hand? It is Gelish Good Gossip. This is 1 week wear. And then I topped it on I did an accent of Julep Fireworks. And it's 1 week. And so far, I'll show you the bad hand again. So accent of this one. This has been on my nails for about almost over a week. I am getting antsy to take it off. And I'm so happy that I have my nail mojo back, because I like being able to be creative about my nails and having control over my nails, and it's so nice to have it back. And being able to do whatever I want, and not having to explain my idiosyncrasies to a tech. But I am thinking just to have a relaxing time. I will, when I do my once a month pedicure, I'll do a once a month manicure as well, but no color. I've decided I want to have control of my color, and if I have to explain and try to get them to do it right, it's not going to happen. So I am thinking after today, after July 4th, I'm going to change it to a different color. Definitely darker color, because I like darker colors on my nails. And one thing I realized is that I absolutely love gelish for my gel nails. The one thing that I've learned with gel polish, especially gel polish, not regular nail polish, but gel polish, is you definitely want to shake the bottle. I know for regular nail polish, you're not supposed to shake it. You're just supposed to roll it a little bit just to get the oils and whatnot together, just gently roll it with regular nail polish. But with gel polish, you need to shake it because it's different consistency. It's a thicker viscosity. It's just you need to, and or it's gonna run all over your cuticles, and then it's a bad thing. So, actually, I could have done this, huh? TARDIS is everywhere. So, and I found you don't have to. The one thing with gelish too is that you don't have to shake it that much. All you have to do is shake it vigorously for like a minute and a half, and it's good. There's no shrinking from the nails when you're applying it. It's none of that. So, OPI, their gel color, I shake it for at least 3 minutes and it's still runny. It still shrinks a little and it does not cure. So, I have 3 I found dupes for. Just to kind of go back on vocabulary. Dupe is when it's one brand makes a similar color as another brand. So I was able to find dupes of the 2 that I have from Gelish. But there's one that there is no gel dupe for. So maybe I'll just keep that one because I love it. It's every month is Oktoberfest, and I love it. I love the color. It's just perfect and dark and fabulous, and it's a perfect fall color. I have not found a good dupe. Not a good dupe for gel color, so we'll keep that one. But I have 2 other ones that I want to send it off to someone else, so I'm trying to find someone who would want them, that's willing to have me ship it to them and not worry about the cost. It's fine. It's just I don't want them in my house. I don't want them. I won't use them. They should go to someone that wants it. So if anyone wants OPI gel color and not at all unhappy that I'm spending this shipping cost on you, let me know. Message me in the thread, in the episode thread. I'll private message you, get your address, and I'll give it to you. Because I don't feel right doing a giveaway of some sort, because some of them I've used like halfway through. So one has been barely used. It's a greenish, it's a darker green teal. It's windmill something. I barely use that one. But then the other one is I'm Really Not a Waitress, and I love that red. It's like the perfect red for me. And I've used half of it and still no. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm thinking black and then stamping over it. I don't know what I will stamp over it. But I want to stamp over something. I want to use my stamping stuff. So, next segment, looking at my notes, is books. I gave up on Wolf Hall. Yeah, I know. I don't like giving up on anything. I don't. But I had to give up on Wolf Hall. Every time I looked at my Kindle, which is, I had a digital copy of it, whenever I look at my Kindle and think, okay, I'm going to read, my heart just like, I don't want to read. Because then you have to go in, I have to go in and remember where I was in the book, and then, I have to get used to her writing style, which was not my favorite. I mean, what? It's either you decide to use quotes for your dialogue or you don't use quotes for your dialogue. Choose! And actually caring is another thing. So, yeah, I said, you know what? Life is too short to read boring books. And please understand that if you love the book, that means that book is your cup of coffee. Okay? It's not my cup of coffee. It's just not. I love historical fiction, but I think I like the scandalous kind. I know. It just wasn't my cup of coffee. So I started reading Rachel Herron's Fiona's Flame. I'm about this much of the way through, a few pages in. I believe it's her latest. It's her latest Coral Hollow, not Coral Hollow. Yeah, Coral Hollow. No, it's good. Cypress Hollow. I'm sorry. I need to look it up. I'm sorry. I don't like doing this on the. But I've already gone to the window, so I think it's clear to say that this episode is going to be fun. Rachel Herron. No, not Rachel Ray. Cypress Hollow. Thank you. I believe Fiona's Flame is the latest in the Cypress Hollow. I was right the second time. Cypress Hollow knitting romance book series. The latest book that she has out is one of her other non-Cypress Hollow, which I want to read. I'm going to try to find it. It's not at Half Price Books, which is where I like to buy my books. So I'll have to check it out. Or I just give in and buy the ebook on Kindle. Or I just finally joined my City of Livermore library. Maybe I can find it in their catalog. It took me a year. I know. So that's what I'm reading now. It's enjoyable. I'm getting to know the characters. But I absolutely love the Cypress Hollow book series. I didn't think I would. Okay. I know I may have talked about this recently not recently, a long time ago, centuries ago in the podcast, but I'm usually not a romance type person. I usually enjoy more literature stuff, but I have to say her romance books are just, they're good. They hooked me. I got to meet her at the yarn store some months ago. It was many months ago, many moons ago. And I told her, I'm like, admittedly, I don't read romance novels. I really don't. But yours are just amazing. And she's like, I know, right? I don't either. No. Sorry. No. She did say she enjoyed reading romance novels, but she enjoys writing them way more. So, and she's just awesome to talk to. And she did some readings of her and her memoir and also her newer stuff. It wasn't the new one that's out, which is something with light, but the Packing Up of the Moon, which is her other non-Cypress Hollow book, which is more drama. And I really want to read those books because, I mean, if her romance novels sucked me in, imagine her drama. Oh my gosh. So I'm excited to, I'm really excited about reading her stuff. And I needed something light and fluffy, as much as light and fluffy can be. Because after just trying to chug through Wolf Hall, it was just, I needed something that just made me feel like I was a reader again. It's kind of like with knitting when you've had a difficult project and you've either finished it or just frogged it. You need something that makes you feel okay with yourself as a knitter. At least that's how I am. That's how I am with reading too. I wanted to get a book that I knew that would suck me in and make me feel like I am an actual reader and not just this flailing person that can't read Wolf Hall, So that is my reasoning for my choice. The second one, excuse me, not the second one. Well, it is the second one. I'm listening to another Dresden Files book. I finished The Golem and the Genie. It's fabulous. The book I finished listening to is The Golem and the Genie by Helen Wecker. It's not Wrecker, it's Wecker. Weckerer. And it's Helen Helene. The title is spelled The Golem and the Genie. Genie spelled J-I-N-N-I. So really it should be Ginny. It should be Ginny, but I call it Genie because there's two ways of saying it. So it's fabulous. It's a good read. The characters are well developed. I think though, and a lot of people at my book club agreed. I just had book club this last Tuesday. One thing to note is that there could have been a little bit better editing at the end, especially how she tied up everything. So, but overall, I think the plot was sufficient enough for me to enjoy it. I think the characters are well developed, but I think the planning and the way it ended could have been a little bit neater. But it's fabulous. If you like fantasy, I definitely suggest you listen to it. The reader is amazing. George something. He also performed a Stephen King series. I'm sorry, not sorry. I want you guys to get this information. It's narrated by George Guidall, spelled Guidall. He is an amazing reader. I love him. He made the book so much more enjoyable to listen to. So I finished that, and now I'm on to another Dresden Files. It's called Ghost Story. Dresden Files is written by Jim Butcher. And I'm halfway through. I have 8 hours and 14 minutes left. So I wanted to finish that before I started on with my next book club book. Right now, I'm kind of sad with the Dresden Files. I can't talk about it because it's spoiler alerts, but it's kind of sad and deep. Like, the series started like nice and fluffy with some action and mystery, and now it's become this in-depth stuff that's like, oh, the feels. So it's good though. I'm enjoying it. So once I finish that, I'm going to listen to my book club book, which is The Girl with All the Gifts by M.R. Carey. And I don't know how that's going to be. I did not vote for my book club book this month because none of them was interesting to me. None of them was what I wanted to read. So I'm listening to it because I'm a good sport. And you know how book club politics can be. You know, there's always going to be someone that wants to lead even though they're not the leader, and complain because they can complain. And I'm trying to be better about, because I'm the type of person that complains just to complain. It's the nature of how I was raised, unfortunately. So I'm trying to be mindful and say, okay, are you complaining because it really is something that bothers you, or is it something that you just want to say? And it was just, I let my book club leader know that I'm going to read whatever you read, but I'm not going to vote because I'm not interested in any of these books. So I'm going to be a good sport and read whatever you guys decide, but I'm going to express my displeasure with the selection of books. But I did say that I would send them suggestions next time, so that way I don't have any reason to complain. So they don't kick me out, because I've been kicked out of a book club. Yes, I'm that opinionated. And it's just who I am. I'm opinionated. And when I know this is unbelievable, but I am shy. I really am shy. And I've learned to cope with my shyness by having a personality. Not like a split personality, but just like I cope with being shy and being in a place that I'm not sure of by being this either gregarious, jokey person or opinionated, which I still am opinionated. That's who I am. But very loud about my opinions. And with book club, it's very easy to be a loud, opinionated person. So once I'm more comfortable, I tend to sit back and be more relaxed and whatnot. But that's how I cope with not being in a familiar place. So that's how I am. So thankfully, they did not kick me out of this book club. And they understood. Okay. So now we're on to etc., etc., etc. If you're not interested in this part, see you laters. If you are, let's first start with my accountability section, which is the walking and whatnot. I'm still getting used to being back in this continent. So I did do walking, but I reached, this week I only reached my goal 3 days out of the week. Last week I didn't reach any of my goals. I've been catching up at work, so I haven't had much time to walk during lunch. And it was also payroll. And it's usually end of payroll is my busiest time. So of course I come back and it's the busiest payroll. Why couldn't it have been the 15th? No, of course not. I was gone during the 15th. So I was really busy and I didn't make any of my walking goals last week. But this week I reached it 3 days out of the 5 days. So that's pretty good. And I've been eating better. When I was in the Philippines, my eating just went. It's so hard when you're on vacation and you're not making your own meals, and you're also with about 13 other people. Well, okay. Yeah, 13, because it was 14 total. Yeah, 13. Yeah, whatever. But when you're coordinating with 13 other people who all have different eating habits, I just gave up. I did. I just gave up. I mean, I had dim sum for breakfast. Dim sum. It was delicious. So I'm back to my normal eating habits of eating protein and a salad for lunch, and then whatever Peter cooks in a salad. So I'm back to better eating habits, so that's good. Woohoo! I'm feeling a little bit better. My blood sugar level is great, actually. I think only one day did I get to 122. I'm trying to, so the normal range, by the way, for anyone actually, is 70 to 130. If you're above 130 for a consistent of 6 months, then you definitely need to see a doctor and start thinking about ways to lower your blood sugar. There's also another, I forget what it's called, but it averages your blood sugar over a certain amount of months, and that's mine was 6.9, which is why I got on the meds. What? I forget what it's called. If I didn't have the door closed, I would ask P, but the door is closed because I can't talk to a camera while he's over there. It made me feel awkward. As I said, he's usually not home, but now he's home, and I love him. No, I love him. It just makes me feel awkward. I forget what the test called. You're probably all yelling at it to me, but that averages out the month. The the ratings I take is every day, and the normal range is 70 to 130. I want to be around the low hundreds because I feel that would be my normal range. I don't want to be closer to 70 or lower because that means I have too low blood sugar, and I don't want to be in the 120s because it's getting close to the 130. I want to be at a good low 100, late 90s, or if I could get to low 90s, that'd be great. But we're trying to deal with what I have. We're trying to work with what I have. That's the phrasing that I'm trying to say. So right now, I only hit one day at 122, but every day has been, I think, yesterday was 115, today I'm 114, I've been in 105, 103, it's been pretty good, so I'm liking this trend, and my blood sugar has been low since I came back, so, and I didn't bother checking my blood during the Philippines because I didn't want to know, so that, I'm pretty happy, so I'm very happy about that. So we're working on it. I don't check my weight, so you're not going to be seeing me talk about how many pounds I've lost because I don't know. And I honestly don't care. That's one thing that I'm very adamant about is I don't, because when I was doing Weight Watchers and doing that, and you have to account for your weight loss. I felt like the person who I was based off that number, and I couldn't do it, so I can't do it anymore. I'd rather feel I base how well I'm doing with my blood sugar levels and how I feel, and I feel really good. I'm going to be definitely walking. I'm going to get back to my walking schedule a lot more. Yoga, I'm working it one day at a time. I'm still hurting because part of the jet lag was hurt. I was hurting. So once I feel more like myself, I'll start doing the yoga. Scout's honor. Is that how it is? I promise you I will do my yoga. I will start my yoga. So and this is all about the accountability, is being accountable to myself to understand what I want to do. So, all right. Next thing is Orange is the New Black. Yes, I talked about this. TV. This is the TV portion of etc. is TV. And since it's summer, I don't watch summer programming. It's usually just reality shows or something that they're usually not as good programming, in my opinion. So I've been catching up on the Orange is the New Black, and I like the first 2 seasons. I'm on the 3rd one, the latest one, and I'm not digging it. I'm not digging it as much. So, I mean, I think what made it so much more enjoyable was the background stories were more interesting, and you got to see stuff outside of the prison. But this season is very much inside the prison drama, and the backstories are just not as interesting. So I'm going to finish it. I'm on episode 9. Yeah, I'm on episode 9, and each season has 13 episodes. So, we'll see. If I am not thrilled with how this season is, sorry, I'm playing with my hair. If I'm not thrilled with how this season ends, I think I'm just gonna not watch the next one. I mean, I'm not invested in it. I really enjoy it, but it's only been 3 seasons, so if I'm not thrilled, I'm just gonna say, no more. But I've gotten a lot of knitting time out of it. The next thing, I'm not sure what I'm going to do for my knitting time. I mean, obviously watch my podcast, watch my knitting podcast, and then once I'm caught up on them, I'm maybe rewatch Firefly or start on another Netflix series, House of Cards. But that one I have to watch with Pete. The Orange is the New Black I was watching on my own because the Pete didn't want to watch it. But then he got sucked in for the second season. He's like, I need to watch this. But now because the third season is not as good, he's like, you can watch on your own. So, but the House of Cards, he said he absolutely wants to start from start to finish with me. So we'll see. We'll see. So we're not sure what's up the pipeline for TV. So what is today? July 4th. Happy 4th of July, you guys. Sorry, I have a note about that. Our weekend is very busy. Yesterday, we went to the free opera in the park. So our local classical radio station, which is actually public funded. It's great. It's so great how people will give towards something that they love. And classical music, you know, you wouldn't think, because usually normally people listen to, you know, pop, country, all that stuff. Classical music is, you know, it's not common, but it's still enjoyable. I actually really enjoyed listening to classical music when I was working. I don't anymore because I need something to keep me going. I need my adrenaline pumping, or I listen to my books. So, but our local publicly funded classical radio station hosts every year free opera in the park. And the park is AT&T Park, where the San Francisco Giants play. And it's if you haven't been, and if you are either if you live in the area or you're a tourist in San Francisco, I really suggest that you tour AT&T Park, because it's a great park. It's not just for baseball fans. They have great food. You know, they have little areas that the children can play with on other sides. It's like the Coca-Cola place. And it's wherever you are, even the nosebleed seats, you can still see action. It's actually it's great. It really is. And so and what's great is they're part of the community, and they allow the classical, the radio station and the opera house, the San Francisco Opera House, simulcast an opera in their park, in their big Megatron screen. They allow them to do this every year, and it's great. It is just fabulous. I went to one I can't believe I forget the name. It's not a most common opera, but I did it a few years back before P, and I with a couple of friends, and I loved it. It was just so much fun. So when my best friend and unofficial maid of honor said, "Hey, is anyone going to free opera in the park?" I'm like, I would love to. Sorry. I said, yes, let's do it. And so she was the one planning, and she said, okay, well, we can't get here until this time. And it's really suggested that you get there really early. Like, the gates open up at 6. The thing starts at 7:30. But there's always a ton of people that register to do it, because it's a great thing to bring your children, you know, yeah. And and the other reason why I was so excited about going to do this, I'm kind of off center, is because the opera was The Marriage of Figaro, which I have always wanted to see. It's the opera was written by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. So I wanted to see it. So I registered. The one thing is also, you definitely want to register. I finished my coffee. Not like you care. Anyway, God. I registered for the event. And then because I registered for the event, they gave me an early bird pass so I could get in at 6 o'clock. Well, I figured, you know what? There's probably going to be a huge crowd to get in early at 6 o'clock. So I told P, let's get there a little bit earlier, like 5 o'clock. And he's like, okay. Because I've done it before, he hasn't, blah, 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 blah. So we got on BART, walked over to the park, and we got there at like 5:10, 5 o'clock, and there was already a crowd of people, just crowds of people. And we found an entrance that had a less of a crowd, and we're like, okay. And it turned out they decided to open up the gates at 5:30, and I was just like, score. And we didn't want to spend too much money because their concession stands are open, because, come on, you can earn a lot of money with a free thing. So we decided, you know what, we're going to save our money, though, and we're going to bring a picnic. That's what we call picnic. And so we had our little, ice cooler thing, and I was worried about the food, about letting it in, because I was thinking, oh, what if they decide, you can only have our food. The P was more worried about the bottled water that I stushed under the food so I could have my water and not have to spend money, and my hair. They barely looked. They just looked in and said, okay, and because they were more worried about knives and stuff like that. I mean, they did not blink with my knitting needles, because they never do. They never blink about that. So, and Peter, the P, knew that I was absolutely wanting to get a good seat. So he's like, you go run, because you walk faster than I do. You go find the seats. I will make sure to follow you. So that's exactly what happened. I ran. I didn't run, but I walked very enthusiastically over to the third baseline, because the Megatron that's the best way to see the Megatron, is right there, like kind of ground level, So I got our seats. I had to reserve 10 seats because all the people in our group. So I laid blankets over the seats. I put bags. We scattered ourselves between the seats, and we're just like, rah! No one fought for our seats, but we did have a lot of people like not see the blankets and the bags, and they came down, they're like, oh, it's reserved, and then climb over us, and that was not fun, but it's okay. But the opera itself was amazing, beautifully sung, just absolutely well done. I really liked even though it was so much of a soap opera, it was fabulous, and I loved it. It was amazing. Oh, so amazing. So, and because I registered to do the simulcast and I went, they gave us 50% off tickets towards one of their fall shows. So the P and I are thinking of going to see another Mozart one, the Magic Flute, which is playing in October and early November. So we're gonna see if we can fit it in, because that's around the time when we're gonna be really busy with wedding stuff. So, I mean, I think it would be a great way to just relax in the midst of planning, but we'll see. We have to check our schedules. So, but 50% off, that's not bad, That's not bad. What else? It's been hot. As I said, I don't like hot weather. I melt. So we've been using our air conditioning, which we try not to because it costs a lot of money to run it. So our electrical bill is going to be up the roof, but it's better than me melting. I don't like the melting. I don't like melting. Thank you. Bad accent. I just don't. I don't like it, so. It's summer, though. I can't. I knew how it was going to be moving here, okay? I knew that Livermore was hot. Hot. I knew that. That's why I was happy that this house had an air conditioning. But in order to save money, you can't run the air conditioner. Right now, the air conditioner is off, and I have fans going, and I have the window open. That's why I hear birdies. But at night, if the house has been cooking, I can't handle it. I can't. So we've been letting the air conditioner run. It doesn't run too often though, so that's good at night. And then we run a little bit when in the late afternoon if we're home. Our limit is, the P's limit is 90 degrees. Mine is 80. So if I'm home and it's 80 degrees, I'm like, put on the air conditioner. And he's like, no. And I say, yes. But, yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We're trying to save money and it's meh. So, but we'll see. I hope, anyway, I think that's all I have for you today. I hope everyone has a good July 4th weekend, or at least the rest of it. We are going to enjoy some fireworks downtown, see a movie beforehand, eat some dinner, and then plop ourselves somewhere in the middle of downtown and watch the fireworks. This is the second year for downtown to do it. They didn't have that much money, so they had an Indiegogo, and I paid some money to get a parking permit, so we could park with ease. So that's nice. But yeah, I hope your July 4th is just as fabulous as mine. I'm so excited. We're gonna see Inside Out. What else? Oh, where you can find me. Oh, and you want to see my July 4th themed t-shirt? As you see. It's Dream Girl. It's one of those 1940s pinup style, but for superheroes, and this is Supergirl, and she has the American flag behind her, so I figured this was a perfect July 4th t-shirt. But anyway, please be safe and sane. Be careful about fireworks, please. And be mindful of others and their dogs and cats. Last year Teddy was having a nervous breakdown. So just be mindful, but have fun. And yeah, that is about it. You can find me only and forever on Instagram as J Crafty Geek. I do not do Twitter anymore. And my Facebook is my personal one. So if you want to know just about my knitting and whatnot, just check out Instagram. I'm not on Plurk. I'm not on Twitter. It just makes life simpler that way. You can also find stuff about the show on our Ravelry group. I'm just creating a thread for the episode. That's it. This is all low maintenance stuff. So, and I figure I'm not as popular as the other ones, so I'm not gonna overburden myself with something like that, because this is for me. So, etc. All right, you guys, you have a great weekend and have a great nitty digit day. Bye.